Canon Cinema Prime lenses. Since the announcement of Cinema EOS back in 2011, we expanded and diversified our lineup with a particular focus on zoom lenses to suit various shooting styles, applications, and budgets for both movie and television productions. To date, our solid lineup of cinema lenses includes 5 categories: zooms, compact zooms, cine servos, compact servos, and primes. With our years of accumulated experience working globally with DPs and directors and really listening to their desires, the rising industry popularity of full-frame cine cameras, associated developments in full-frame image sensors, and the explosion in high-end television and movie productions, especially on streaming services, this is the opportune time for Canon to introduce our new series of full-frame Canon Cinema Prime lenses. Let's start with the name, pronounced Sumi-Rei. Sumi-Rei in Japan is the name of a flower, and like the petals of a flower, our lenses are most beautiful when fully opened, offering a unique, artistic, pleasing look with gentle and beautiful skin tones and smooth bokeh. In total, we're introducing 7 Cinema Prime lenses, starting with 14mm through 135mm. While the focal lengths match those of our current EF Prime lenses, these high-end lenses are not just PL versions of our current primes. Rather, it's the look these lenses produce which truly defines them. This look is a contemporary, sophisticated rendering of facial reproductions at wide aperture settings. It produces a flattering, aesthetic nuance for facial close-ups. A gentle, subtle texturing of skin tones roll in as wide aperture approaches. It's ideal for capturing faces of all genders, ages, races, and ethnicities. Additionally, it smooths the transition to the out-of-focus portions of the scene for a pleasing soft bokeh. Similar to our existing EF mount Cinema Prime lenses, the new Cinema Prime support 4K full-frame cameras, as well as Super 35, APS-H, and APS-C sensor size cameras. Additional similarities include fast T-stops that help enable better low-light shooting, as well as extended control over depth of field, an 11-blade iris, minimum focus breathing, and Canon's renowned warm color imagery, which is uniform throughout the lineup. All lenses also offer outstanding usability with a 300-degree focus rotation angle and consistent gear positioning, minimizing the need to adjust gear positions when changing lenses. Our goal with these new Cinema Prime lenses is to help inspire creativity within the motion picture production community. We are confident that the unique look of these lenses, combined with their maximum performance and usability, will provide the creative community with tools to further expand the art of filmmaking. I'm Tim Smith. Thanks for watching.
Videography is an art. It's a form of expression from the perspective of my eye. I'm Sean Xia. I'm the co-founder of Vulcan Works Productions. This documentary is a passion project. I've known these Bangladesh workers for a couple of years. There is a very strong friendship between them and their boss. They are more like family after working together for more than 10 years. The EOS C70 is a very compact cinema camera. One of the C70's greatest advantage is the form factor. And this allows me to mount it on a gimbal easily, especially with the flip screen. There are situations where I'm moving between outdoor and indoor, and the built-in ND filter is amazing. You can switch up to 10 stops with a flick of a button. So one of the things that really attracted me was that Super 35 sensor with the dual gain output feature. And it's probably one of the best images that I've ever seen. Having 4 audio tracks, I can have scratch audio with the built-in microphone. I can either have wireless mic or just a shotgun phantom powered via the Mini XLR. When we are doing mission critical shoots, I have the option to enable dual recording with dual cut slots. The high frame rate mode is the best slow motion footage I've seen in a long time. And what I really love is not just the details in the image, there is no cropping. So the mount adapter, with it, I can use my extensive range of EF lenses that I already have. It allows me to get the full frame look, and I can achieve a stop more. I've owned so many cameras, from cinema cameras to mirrorless. I would say the C70 is one solid workhorse. It is a camera that delivers a lot in a very small package.
Canon, delighting you always.
For more than 3 decades, Metropolitan has been setting trends in the field of photography in Sri Lanka. From introducing the most advanced camera and lens technology, to supporting schools, conducting workshops, photo tours, events and training, it is the go-to photography company for knowledge, experience, technology and support. The Metropolitan Group.
Canon Cinema EOS System is a fully integrated solution for professional filmmakers and cinematographers. It's a family of large sensor cinema cameras and a range of lenses and monitors that work seamlessly to deliver, every time. Cinema EOS merges several of Canon's technologies and product categories to create a powerful filmmaking system that includes professional video cameras, lenses, as well as DSLR and mirrorless camera systems. Cinema EOS fuses Canon's proven technologies across video, optics, CMOS sensors, and image processing to provide a comprehensive solution for the filmmaking and broadcast industries. Since the Cinema EOS line was introduced back in November 2011 with the introduction of the EOS C300 camera, Canon has developed 12 Cinema EOS cameras, 8 of which are current models. These include the C700 models with full frame or Super 35mm sensor, the C500 Mark II, the C300 Mark II, and newest edition, the Mark III, C200, C100 Mark II, and the latest addition to the family, the EOS C70. This Cinema EOS system meets the needs of working professionals, from cinematographers to news gatherers, documentary makers, and commercial directors. With their compact, modular design, superb handling, customizable controls, and durable build, Cinema EOS cameras and lenses ensure that you'll get the shot, even in the most demanding of situations. Canon has filmmaking and broadcast professionals covered, whatever their demands. Sri Lanka.
But it's been a real pleasure and an honor to finally come to Sri Lanka and perform for you. So thank you very much.
a blessing to be here. This is our first time in Sri Lanka. Ooh, baby, I love you every day.
Oh, I, you tell me la 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 lies.
Sri Lanka, I just wanna be close to you. Sing, I need your love, I need your love, I need your love, 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 love. 1, 2, 3.
The Clairvoyance.
Thank you very much, Roshan, for accepting our invitation and coming here to share your experience with us today. So starting off, Roshan, international celebrities and artists and Roshan Fernando go hand in hand because every time an international celebrity or artist comes to Sri Lanka, it's recorded through the eyes of Roshan Fernando. Roshan, why don't you share a little bit of your experience working with international celebrities and artists?
Sharing the stories of 20 plus international artists. I think that we will run out of time basically. So what I would do is I'll share some of the memorable incidents which has happened and my experience with most of these unforgettable artists. So I mean, when it comes to international artists, every moment is very valuable, right? You can't miss it. And some of the incidents what we are talking about is very challenging to take because you're being hired to take the beautiful moments of some VIP coming to Sri Lanka and their moments. And when it comes to moments, we never know what are those moments and when it happened, right? And so let's say when, as example, when it takes to Yani. When Yani came to Sri Lanka, it was late night.
Okay.
1 o'clock is the flight. And he is coming after about 9 to 12 hour flight and he is tired. So at that time there's no makeup or anything. He want to be just comfortably moved to his hotel. At that time we had to take that shot and move quickly as possible to the Hilton, which is his residence at that time. Okay. So getting the best gear, because your camera has to be like run and gun. Basically, like you have no time to like change lenses, get another assistant for lenses, get another assistant for tripod. That's a zero, because maximum you can have it 1 to 2 assistants. That sometimes maybe you're not permitted to take that. Oh. So you have to have a multi-purpose lens sometimes and maybe a multi-purpose camera, and that camera has to be the best quality because you never know what these artists will be using it. It may be a world tour show or reel or anything. So coming back to Yani's show, that is one of the best shows that I have ever done. Okay. It was being done in a world-class standard. I have a task to record all the valuable moments of Yani's arrival, getting the every moment captured and getting the right lenses on right time is not easy.
You don't get time. You don't get time to coordinate. You need to be able to run in an instant, right?
It's a run and gun shoot basically, not the show, but the other stuff when he's going here and there.
So Roshan, you mentioned that the Yani show was one of your most memorable shows that you've done in all of your history. Can we take a quick look at some of the work that you've done with Yani?
Praveen, I would say, okay, Yani's show is one of the exclusive videos that I'm going to share because so far it's been not out yet and you're not permitted to out because it's for recording purposes. They have done it, but like it's a fully fledged production. So you being one of the very lucky audience to just have a glimpse of what happened during Yani's show and how the show was happened. Let's have a look.
The viewers of today's glimpse into Canon Cinema EOS with Roshan Fernando are very lucky indeed, because we all got this opportunity to take a quick glimpse into the Yani show in Sri Lanka, which was an exclusive content and which was not published either on television or even on social media or YouTube. So Roshan Fernando is very kind enough to share his work with Yani. Roshan, tell us a little bit about how Canon Cinema EOS System helped you do such an amazing production.
First, I would say the camera's form factor is very important when you're using a camera for international artists. What I would say is camera size, form factor, because this is a small camera when you're comparing to other cinema cameras, and this is very low light. Those are the key factors actually, because when you're shooting with a international artist or celebrity, you have no second chance to buy time. Basically, you can't just stop and get it done and etc. etc. You have only few minutes to deploy your equipment. Let's say if that artist is coming to Sri Lanka, he'll be garlanded at the VIP lounge, then he'll be mobilized with the security. So with the security, you have to be very advanced to the hotel or the other place that you're being shooting next. At that time, you might have to change your batteries or change or whatever it is. The camera has to be very run and gun style. So then your low light capability and the lenses. You have to have a zoom lens. You can't work with the prime lenses because sometimes there are security protocols. You can't go beyond a certain distance to these artists. And the thing is, you have to have quick thinking. When it's come to quick thinking, your lens and the camera is number one, because it has to have ability to deliver what I think and the quality, because you never know what this footage is going to be used, and it has to match to the international standards. So like most of these Cinema EOS cameras are BBC and Netflix standards, because I have been working with most of these international platforms, and they never hesitate to take the footage. That is number one advantage using one of these cameras, I would say.
Roshan, while talking to you, I've heard so many interesting stories, either working with international artists or maybe during some of your projects, you've had various incidents which may have been challenging, very funny, different stories. So why don't you share with some of our audience members today some of those interesting stories?
Okay, so I'll share a story which is beyond celebrities today.
Okay.
So this is actually a project which has been assigned me for Netflix, Netflix project, and make ඇත්තටම මේ තෙල් කරවලා common crates.
Okay.
මේ 72 most dangerous animals Asia කියන program එකේ episode 8 එක තිබුණේ තෙල් කරවලාගෙන. තෙල් කරවලාගෙන ඇත්තටම දවල්ට හරිම මේ කියන්නේ එයාගේ movements නැති තරම් හරිම මේ කියන්නේ මොකද ඒකට කියන්නේ බොහොම මේ එයාගේ කිසිම රියැක්ෂන් එකක් නැති සර්පෙක්. So and ගාන සර්පයෝ ගැන කතා කරනකොට මම එච්චර කැමති නැති සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකක් තමයි සර්පය, but මගේ ටාස්ක් එක වෙලා තිබ්බේ සර්පයව ෂූට් කරන්න. අනිත් එක මැක්‍රෝ ෂොට්ස් තිබුණා සර්පයාගේ විස ගන්න ඒවා. එතකොට මේ එක සර්පය
යන්න තිබ්බා.
ළඟ ඉන්නේ මම ඉන්නේ සාමාන්‍ය අඩියක් විතර ඇතුළත, and මේ සතාගේ විස දල් ගලවලා මොනවත් නැහැ ප්‍රවින්න. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ වෙනම් ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකකට ගෙනාපු මේ සත්තු ටික. So ඒ සතාගේ ෂූට් කරනකොට මට මැක්‍රෝ ෂොට්ස් ගන්න තිබුණා. එතකොට සතා මූව් වෙනකොට මම ලෙන්ස් එකත් එක්ක පොඩි මූවමන්ට්ස් යන්න තිබුණා.
එන්දුවන්න ලෑස්තිලා ඉන්න ඕනේ.
හදිසියෙවත් හැන්ඩ්ලත් එක්ක තියෙන පුදුම විශ්වාසයක්. හදිසියෙවත් හැන්ඩ්ලගෙන් මිදුනොත් ඉවරයි. මොකද ඒ ගන්න පොඩි ටෙක්නික් එකකුත් තියෙනවා. දැන් අපි සර්පෙක්ව එහෙම ෂූට් කරනකොට එයාට මෙහෙම මූව් වෙන්න පුළුවන් නේ. ඒ මූව් වෙනකොට අපි ගන්න ගොඩක් වෙලාවට බටයක් ඇතුළට යවනවා. සර්පයාට රිවර්ස් කරන්න බෑ ඇක්චුअලි. ඒ බටේ ඇතුළට දාලා ඒ බටේ අපේ ෆ්‍රේම් එකෙන් එළිය තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට එයාට රිවර්ස් වෙන්න බෑ. රයිට්. එතකොට අනිත් පැත්තේ හැන්ඩ්ලර් ඉන්න යාගේ ටූල්ස් එක්ක. එතකොට අපි ෂූට් කරනකොට මේ සතාගේ අපිට ඕන මෙහෙම අල්ල ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේ තියෙනවා පොඩි ටෙක්නික්ස් ටිකක්. මේක මගේ ටාස්ක් එකනේ මම ෆස්ට් ටයිම් මේ වගේ එකක් කරන්න යන්නේ. It's a challenging task, and camera එක දෙන්නේ බොහොම ළඟ, and ගොඩක් light එක මේකේ වැඩ කරන්න බෑ. මොකද මම අර මේ ලැබ් එකේ shots වගේක් කරා. එතකොට ගොඩාක් lights එක වැඩ කරන්න බැරි හේතුව තමයි සතාට අමාරුයි. මේ සතාව comfortably තියන්න ඕනේ. සතා මේ natural විදිහට ඉන්න ඕනේ. අනිත් එක සතාගේ movements තිබුණා අපි එළිය දාලා ගත්තා. තව තැනක තිබ්බා හවස. මම මේක කියන්නම් මේ ඒ හවස shoot කරනකොට වැස්ස එතන. දඹුල්ලේ තමයි shoot කරේ. ඒ ඇත්තටම common crate bite එකකට මේ බයිට් එකක් වෙච්ච ඒ මිනිස්සෙගේ ඉන්ටර්විව් එක අරගෙන රීක්‍රියේට් කරා. ඒ රීක්‍රියේට් කරනකොට දැන් මට තේරෙනවා උදේ හිටපු කොමන් ක්‍රේට් නෙවෙයි දැන් ඉන්නේ. හවස් වෙනකොට මෙයාගේ මූව්මන්ට් එක වැඩි. මෙයා ටට්ටක් ගාලා මූව් වෙනවා. එතකොට අපිට තිබුණා දැන් මේ පොඩි පැල්පතක් වගේ තැන. එතන තිබ්බ ගමන් එයා යනවා දුවලා. එතකොට අපි මූව්මන්ට් එක යන්නත් ඕනේ පොඩි මේම පොඩි මූව්මන්ට් එකක් තිබුණේ. හදිසියෙවත් පොල්ලතු අස්සට රින්ගුවොත් හොයන්න බෑ ආව. කියන්නේ මගේ ලයිෆ් එකේ අමතක නොවන එකක් තව ඒවා තියෙනවා but like those comes to celebrities but this is one of the challenging task and like the camera I would say lens changing capability is number 1 in this and the low light capabilities and make a C-Log 3 shoot කරන්න පුළුවන් එතකොට color grade කරන්න පුළුවන් and this is one Netflix approved camera.
Roshan, I recently watched one of your videos which was shot in black and white. A 4.5 minute clip which brought tears to my eyes. And later I found out that this was shot for over 2.5 years. Roshan, that was an amazing clip. Why don't you tell our viewers about how you shot that and the story behind it?
Once I've been tasked to do a memory for Mr. Diane Gomez when he is retiring. Where he announced that he's going to retire in 1000 days time. And he's a boxing fan and the MA's intimates wanted to give him a memory which he never forgets. I mean, my task was to do a video for him about his boxing. So we have shot many more, I mean like many more incidents, winning, losing, and the reactions, how the boxer feel. When we are shooting like something like boxing, you have to be very, very fast because every shot is a moment, and then it has to be not odd to the person who is filming. We wanted to make it black and white to give a more artistic image into it. And when it comes to black and white, the Canon's C-Log, at that time when we were shooting, it's a C-Log 2. C-Log 2 gave me a great ample amount of dynamic range when it comes to grading, and the grading and as well as like the lens capabilities are amazing. So, and the camera's form factor, when I was like doing most of these shots, you had no chance to use a tripod, right? So most of these shots are handheld. Most of the times I had to go run and gun. So then I had to create this memory. How can I make it? And where?
Without a script.
Without a script, okay. I have done like, I think about hundreds of versions on it. My task is to give a memory, and when I'm giving a memory, it has to feel, it has to be emotional, because, and when I'm showing something, that feeling has to be there to the viewer as well. So I will share it with his permission now, and so there are some shots in that which I'm been like parallelly tracking with the boxer, and sometimes Dan is in the corner. He's known as the corner man, right? He goes inside, sometimes he gives instructions. Those are the key facts. If I don't get it, if I get only the beautiful part of it, no, that's not the way. But I would say with the cameras, and most of the times I was using the 1635 lens, L series lens. So the advantage I would tell you with these lenses is 2.8, and it has ample amount of aperture, and as well as it has a good wide range. And when you're tracking with somebody, better you have the wide lens. Correct. And sometimes I have used 24 to 70, 2.8. All these are 2.8 lenses. No artificial lighting, and most of the times I was using the stadium lights, because you can't light up that area.
Yeah, it needs to be natural, right?
It has to be natural, and the ISO is number 1, because I mean most of these cinema cameras are like, they are not very friendly with the ISO levels, but this you can go to at least about 16,000 ISO, you can get a decent amount of footage. I mean there are higher ranges of like if you get say C300 Mark III or C500 Mark II, there are like that has more ISO capabilities. But what I'm saying is, at that time when I was shooting, I had only C300, and sometimes I have cranked to up to 5000 ISO, but no noise at all. So you can see the footage when we are playing back. So that is the advantage of a camera, what I would expect.
So Roshan, you've been teasing us a lot. Why don't we take a look at the masterpiece?
Each day I live, I want to be a day to give the best of me. I'm only one, but not alone. My finest day is yet unknown. I broke my heart for every gain, to taste the sweet. I face the pain. I rise and fall, yet through it all, this much remains. Give me one moment in time when I'm more than I thought I could be, when all of my dreams are possible, and the answers moment in time when I'm racing with destiny. Then in that one moment of time, I will feel eternity. Oh, you're a winner for a lifetime. If you seize that one moment in time, make it shine.
16-14, Manju Waniarachi wins gold for Sri Lanka in the bantamweight division. What a marvellous final. Overcome with emotion. Manju Waniarachi, the pictures tell the story there. That's how much gold means to that 30-year-old.
Feet away, and the answers are all up to me. Give me one moment in time when I'm racing with destiny. Then in that one moment of time, I will be
රොෂන් අපි මුලින්ම කතා කරා ඉන්ටර්නැෂනල් සෙලිබ්‍රිටිස්ලා ආටිස්ලා ලංකාවට ආවන් පස්සේ ඔයා ලයිව් ඒගොල්ලෝම රෙකෝඩ් කරන එක්ස්පීරියන්සස් ගැන. ඊට පස්සේ අපි කතා කරා Netflix BBC වගේ ෂෝස් එක ඔයා කරපු ඩොකියුමෙන්ටරි වර්ක් ගැන. මේ පොඩ්ඩකට ඉස්සලා අපි කතා කරා ශ්‍රී ලංකා බොක්සිං ගැන කරපු වෙනම වර්ක් ගැන. දැන් මට අහන්න කැමති රොෂන් ඔයාගෙන් කෝපරේට් කම්පනීස් වල කරන කමර්ෂල් වර්ක් ඔයා කරනවා නේද? ඒ වගේ නම් වාගේ මොනවද තියෙන එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් පොඩ්ඩක් අපිත් එක්ක ෂෙයා කරනවද?
ප්‍රවීන්, අපි commercial productions and storytelling ගැන කතා කරොත් camera is number 1 ඒකෙදි. එතකොට අපි මේ කැමරා එක 360 degree කැමරා එකක් විදිහට අපිට use කරන්න පුළුවන්. මොකද අපි සිනමාවේ රේන්ජ් එක හදලා තියෙන්නේ multi purpose කැමරා එකක් විදිහට. so අපි කිව්වොත් දැන් අපි ඉස්සෙල්ලා කතා කරා යානි මගේ ෂෝ එකකදී ENG facility එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ electronic news gathering වගේ. And like or else you gather a moment, right? and අපි ඒ වගේ වෙදී live production එකකුත් යන්න පුළුවන්. ඕන්න live production එකට යන්න පුළුවන්. fully fledged outputs inputs හැමදේම මේ කැමරා එකේ තියෙනවා. You don't have to regret about buying it. and it is there. and ඊට පස්සේ අපි කතා කරොත් මේ කැමරා එක production කැමරා එකක් විදිහට අපි කොහොමද use කරන්න කියලා. production කැමරා එකකට දැන් මේ පිටිපස්සේ තියෙන මේ වගේම rig එකක් දාලා පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට අපිට මේකේ PL mount එක තියෙනවා. දැන් අලුතෙන් එන C500 වල අපිට PL mount එකද RF mount එකද EF mount එකද කියලා අපිට decide කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. and අපිට mount එක ගත්තොත් ඉස්සර වගේ workshop එකට යන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. Allen key එකකින් අපිටම use කරලා මේව කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කියන්නේ swap කරගන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට and you have a big workflow. එතකොට අපි කියමු දැන් සමහර projects තියෙනවා දැන් මම වගේ කරන you need EF lenses or RF lenses. zoom එකෙන් පාවිච්චි කරන්න උනොත්. so එතකොට සමහර වෙලාවට දැන් ලංකාවේ zoom lenses නැහැ සමහර ඒවා අපිට ඕනේවා. so එතකොට අපිට EF lenses පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම නැත්නම් ලොකු production එක ගන්න අපිට prime lenses පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. EFP එකක් නම් අපිට commercial එකක් වගේ නම් එතකොට අපිට යන්න පුළුවන් prime lenses වල. එතකොට PL mount එකට swap කරගන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් අලුතෙන්ම ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන revolutionary optics තමයි RF optics which I'm been dreaming to buy few units. මේ RF lenses වලට යන්න පුළුවන්. so it will be I mean sky is your limit as I tell you. එතකොට දැන් අපි story telling වලට ගත්තොත් ආයි දැන් documentary making වලදී අපිට ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඕන වෙනවා lenses swap කරගන්න. දැන් අපි මම ඉස්සර කරලා තියෙන brands වලට දැන් VS වගේ brands. එතකොට තව every brand is a story. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි product එකක් ගත්තොත් product එක අපි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට study කරන්න ඕනේ. and ඒකේ තියෙන ups and downs මොන technically අපි වැරදි දෙයක් පෙන්වන්න බෑනේ. අපි product එකක් ගැන කතා කරනවා technically වැරදි දෙයක් පෙන්වන්න බෑ. and these lenses are so powerful and macro හැම අපි shoot කරනකොට හැම detail එකම එනවා. එතකොට අපි macro shoot කරනවා නම් ඔය දැන් ඒකට slow mo shots අපි පාවිච්චි කරනවාද. then this is the 10th year I'm using Canon Cinema EOS C series range. Check.
Silence.
Stand by.
කුසුමක් වගේ හැඟේ මගේත සසලයි දෙනුවන් කැළඹෙයි කියාගන්න බෑ ආදරේ කලේ මුළු හදින් ඔබ මට ආදරේ නැතිදෝ ඔබ මා ගැන දන්නේ කොළවල පෙම්මදන් ලියපු කාලේ මුද්දර අලව අලවලියුම් යවපු තාලේ සයිකලේ පාග පාග ඒවා බෙදපු පියුමේ සමාවයන් මම නෑ ලියුම් දෙන්නේ ආයේ උදේ ඉඳන් හවස් වෙනකන් අපේ මුත සපේට හිඳනකන් අපේ ඇඟිලි රිදෙනකන් කෙල්ල නිදිය ගන්නකන් වසන රචන කරන එකම ක්‍රමය.
So Roshan, your experience has mainly been with live events, covering it and streaming it online probably, and you've been doing it for a very, very long time. But unfortunately with the COVID-19 pandemic, the entire ecosystem changed. And how has your industry been impacted, and what are the changes that you're seeing to the workflow as well as the industry?
It's a very important question, Praveen, I would say. So a lot of people think that with the pandemic we have been like enclosed. No, that's wrong, because let's say if you get a production you see online, the same workflow is there to show you a proper concert or a proper event. You have to have the same cameras, same equipment, same technicians, same lighting, everything has to be there. Only thing is we don't have an audience, or maybe we will be doing in a studio and broadcasting it in a different platform. Maybe earlier we used to do television, terrestrial, or maybe through cellular, a different platform. Now what we used to do is going through Zoom. So when it comes to international shows, there is one challenging show which I have been done for Russell Peters, because the challenging part is Russell's team comes here and there was he brings the vision mixer. All the cameramen are from Sri Lanka, and the fact is the key guy, there will be 4 cameras. One camera is following him with a long throw lens 200 to 400 with the extender, and it will be going with a bus shot, right? So wherever Russell goes, he will be focusing on Russell going there, and there will be 2 other cameras on the stage. That cameraman has a big job. It's a little tricky camera, because number one is you have to listen to the communication which your director gives you and what Russell gives, and the first 2 rows you have to focus on it, because Russell is a person who picks people live, okay, and that time you have to mention everything which is there. Or let's say there's a lady with the red purse, okay. When he says lady with the red purse, you have to be in the shot, and his manual focus, you have to be quick, right? And split second you have your chance is missing, right? The director says, okay, you missed it, next time. So if you think it twice, that will be the end. And the most tricky part as a cameraman, I would really don't like, is if you give eye contact to Russell, he might pick you. So I don't want to come to that, and that was one of the key challenges. And the other segments is like when you are using a show outdoors, like I'm referring to pre-COVID situations. So when you're going for an international concert, sometimes it depends on the instruments what you say. So there was a Arjit Singh played with I think 40 plus instruments with a orchestra, and it's a live show. So every part you have to capture that. So I mean, like if you're taking a concert, if that solo part or any part is not there in the music, it's a director's failure. So I had to call the shots, proper shots, and I had to remember the song. And some of the times there are shots that I have to get the audience reactions. Audience are very emotional, and sometimes their joy. If it's somebody like Shaggy, so when we are doing the Colombo Music Fest, the Shaggy was there. So like when Shaggy is approaching, how people feel it. And there was one incident I remember, Diana King, and when it was like so hot when is on a stage, because thousands of lights focusing into you, right? Thousands of kilowatts, and it's really hot, and if there's no wind, and my drone almost went here. Like she can actually grab the drone. So she was telling on live, this is amazing, and she's enjoying a glass of what do you call it, chill water, and saying enjoying the breeze. I'll show you that footage, as well as like some of the international artists don't like the drone coming there, and like Boyzone and Udit Narayan, they really enjoyed. They gave shots, because when they give a shot, you have to cut it to that. That's what you call a live director. So like when there's a shot, you have to go for it, and the camera's ability there. The right shot has to be there, and the right zoom range has to be there. No matter if you have the camera on position and on the shot, if you don't have the zoom capability to go there, right? So everything has to be there, matching to each other when you do a live production. It's not just having few cameras and cutting few shots or switching few cameras. It's an art, I would say. And working with international artists is challenging, as well as you have to keep the Sri Lanka name. When they come here again, they have to keep the standard. So believing that Sri Lanka have this standard. So that is where I would say using the best gear like Cinema EOS and best lenses and best technicians and best technical crew is a privilege. Some of the artists coming here won't believe that Sri Lanka has this equipment, because we are a third world country. So yeah, I'm proud to use one of these cameras.
So Roshan, final question. What is the advice that you'd like our viewers to take away as budding cinematographers, filmmakers and storytellers by listening to this lovely session with you today?
When you're doing a story or a documentary or a live production, whatever it is, camera is only a tool. But having that tool adhering to your way is key, because if you're deciding your shot according to the camera, so you're getting limited. If your camera is adapted to what you think, that is what we need. That is what, in my whole career, the game changer, which I was using ENG cameras, then came to this, and I get more ability to tell my stories, and it made me go far away than I was. If you invest for a good camera, and you can't turn back and get it from a reliable store, what I would say. And number one is the after sales. If your camera goes faulty, there should be a way for you to depend. I've been using these cameras for a long time, but it has never let me down. Always Suresh or Metropolitan is there for me to help me at any time. Get it from a reliable store, use it for the proper way, and maintain your gear, and don't limit to the camera.
The sky is the limit indeed. Let's now move on to the question and answers. If any of you all have questions, now is the time. And yes, I think there was a question in the chat whether we are live or not. We are live right now, streaming live from Roshan's studio. We wanted to make this session quite different from what you normally see. We didn't want it to be a standard Zoom session, but instead we wanted a good mix of where you see Roshan's work as well as get the opportunity to speak to Roshan live through YouTube chat. So a very good evening, and you're tuning in live. We are streaming while we are maintaining the social distancing norms. Roshan and I are available live right now to start the session. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask in the chat, and we will start sharing it with Roshan, and Roshan will try his very best to answer your questions. And ladies and gentlemen, we have at least three memory cards to be given away to lucky winners, which we will announce at the end of today's session. And also we have a surprise. The surprise is none other than 3 lucky winners who registered for this event will also get a once in a lifetime opportunity, a hands-on 3-hour session with Roshan Fernando. So it's an exciting session indeed. We invite you all to put any questions that you may have about the Canon Cinema EOS system, and Roshan Fernando will share his experience, his knowledge working with it. So Roshan, I'll start off with the first question that we have. We received it from Mr. Tushara Vijaysurya. ලංකාව තුල Canon Cinema EOS camera භාවිතයේ ඇති වාසි සහ DSLR එකකින් එහෙම නැත්නම් mirrorless camera එකකින් කරන දෙයට වඩා සුවිශේෂ වන්නේ මොන විදිහටද කියලා පැහැදිලි කරන්න කියලා.
Right. DSLR එකකුයි digital cinema camera එකකුයි අතර තියෙනවා ලොකු වෙනසක් ප්‍රවීන්. අපි DSLR එකක් ගත්තොත් DSLR එකකින් අපි shoot කරනකොට අපිට limitations තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ DSLR එක අපිට shoot කරන්න පුළුවන් ෆයිල් එකේ යන්න පුළුවන් ලිමිටේෂන් එකක් තියෙනවා 28 minutes වල. අපි ඩිජිටල් සිනේ කැමරා එකක් ගත්තොත් අපිට ඒක නැහැ. and XLR inputs තියෙනවා මේ වගේ කැමරා එකේ. එතකොට අපිට audio gear එකක් හොඳ professional audio gear එකක් පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් අපි ඇත්තටම ගත්තොත් C70 වගේ මේ වගේ කැමරා එකක් ගත්තොත් මේක බැලු බැලමටම DSLR එකක්, but මේක DSLR එකක් නෙමෙයි, මේක cinema camera එකක්, digital cinema camera එකක්. මේකේ තියෙනවා phantom power කරන්න පුළුවන් and mini XLR තියෙනවා. and mini XLR රුයි phantom power තියෙනවා and as well as මේකේ තියෙනවා built-in ND filters. එතකොට අපි DSLR එකක් එක්ක වැඩ කරනකොට ND filters වෙනම ගෙනියන්න ඕනේ කතන්දර මොනවත් මේකේ නැහැ. මේක මේ කියන්නේ ඇත්තටම මේ අපි field එකේ වැඩ කරනකොට එළියේ මාර lazy travel කරනකොට camera එකේ මේ size එක පොඩි, අනිත් එක තමයි slow motion වගේ special recordings මේකේ කරන්න පුළුවන්. and දැන් අලුතෙන්ම ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන EF ඉස්සර අපි use කරේ EF lenses, දැන් මේකේ RF lenses පාවිච්චි කරන්නත් පුළුවන්. and දැන් මේකේ නම් මම පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙන EF lens එකක්, but RF to EF adapter එකක් through. but එතකොට අපිට එක advantage එකක් තියෙනවා මේකේ, මේ speed booster ගෙන adapter එක ගත්තොත් one stop higher. මේ කියන්නේ අපි f4 lens එකක් පාවිච්චි කරොත් ඒක 2.8 වෙනවා. මම ඇත්තටම මමත් ඒක first time use කරේ මේ Canon C70 එකත් එක්ක. එතකොට depth of field එකේ වෙනසක් වෙන්න 2.8 lens එකක් වගේම අපිට එනවා. Praveen.
Okay. Roshan, next question is we have received somewhat similar questions. One is from Mr. Supun Fernando. What are the types of lenses you can use with Canon Cinema EOS cameras? And also Mr. Vijita Vijay Nayaka, what is the sharpest lens that you use? So I think you can touch on both of those with the same answer, Roshan.
Right.
And if any of you all have any more questions, even in English or Sinhala, please type it in the chat and we'll share. Roshan will share his experience and knowledge live with Ask with Roshan.
Yeah, I will start from where I begin.
Sure.
So when I was starting, before I come to Cinema EOS cameras, it was first time when I was using ENG cameras. At that time, changing a lens is almost the price of the camera. So it's not possible. So then when I changed into Canon C300, that was my first Canon Cinema EOS camera.
Right.
Then the EF lenses, EF adapter was there.
Right.
And there's option of you can buy the PL mount. Or else you can, like, let's say that if you buy the EF lens mount, then you can swap it with the workshop to PL mount.
Right.
Now, like, actually, like, things have become more versatile. What you can do is, like, most of these new cameras which you get, you can swap the mount in-house.
Correct.
You can do it at home. So what you need is Allen key only. So then you don't have any limits. So you can use the new RF lenses and EF lenses as well as the PL lenses.
Correct.
So, like, you have more ability. And if you are doing any sports or anything related to fast fast event, you can use the B4 mounts as well. So your sky is your limit actually when it comes to lenses.
Right. And Pavitra Vijay Vikrama, Mr. Pavitra Vijay Vikrama has asked, I want to hear more of your experiences in sports event coverage. I think.
Okay, sports events. So I would say most challenging sports event in Sri Lanka was the horse races happened in Nuwara.
Right.
So like this is the 5th year I think I did. This time we used all Cinema EOS cameras. The long throw lens is 600mm, and the other lenses were other cameras were going in standard lenses, and it's going. Most of them are going in wireless technology. So yeah, that's what it is.
One of the most challenging jobs you have done in sports coverage.
Horses are very fast.
Horses are indeed very fast. Yes. We have another question that we received before the event from Mr. Dilan Chaturanga. How do you keep the focus sharp in live events, and do you use a focus puller?
Right. So you can. I'll get you 2 instances.
Right.
If you're doing a EFP, electronic field production, something like a movie or like a teledrama or like a short film, you can use a focus puller. That option is there, or maybe a wireless focus pulling system. That is optional.
Right.
But if you're doing a live event, it's a different ball game together, right? So what you can do, use is, that's where these cameras stands out. So there's an option called peaking. So in the peaking, you have 2-3 options. One is you can peaking. You can highlight the frequency of the sharpness. So that's a number 1. Then the second one, what you can do is, then the second peaking is a color. You can add a color to focus area.
Okay.
So then let's say if we, as an instant, if we get red as a focus outline, so whatever the area which is focused, it marks in red.
Right.
So like that, when we are doing all these events, we use sometimes the big lenses, 200 to 400 with the extender sometimes, and that is what the option is.
Right, right. We have another question. Mr. Punsit Tejaka Attanayaka has asked, want to hear more experience of your video editing. I think maybe very briefly you can touch on that.
Yeah. So most of the times with what I love is directing live events and doing cinematography. But what you saw, the black and white video, which is Mr. Diane Gomez's boxing video,
yes.
Which I had to edit, and like that, if it's my pet project, I would sit in the editing machine and I'll do it, because sometimes I film according to the edit. So that is something which happens very rarely.
Understood.
But I sit in a side and being a pain to my editor most of the times.
Yeah. Got it. Next question, Roshan, is do you think wedding cinematography should adopt cine cameras leaving DSLRs which they use now? This was asked by U Creations.
Okay. Yes, you can, but you have to have the right crew. Basically, these cameras will stand you out from the rest of the people because of the quality, and when you doing the grading and all that. So this will deliver you better colors and better picture quality, right? And let's say if it's a high-end wedding, this can deliver you more things than what you.
It can elevate the standards of where they are currently pitching is what you're getting at. Got it. Mr. Vasanta Jayasurya is asking a follow-up question on the peaking matter. Is peaking available only in manual focus?
No. I haven't. There's an autofocus option in this, but I haven't used it. But most of the times I'm sure with the manual focus. But in these new cameras, I have tested one or twice.
Okay.
So you can put the face priority and the focus
eye tracking
as well as the focus face priority.
Right.
So let's say if somebody crosses,
right,
it won't shift the focus, but it keeps the focus. Yeah, continuation. So like this has a superb autofocus line as well,
Right.
but the lens has to be compatible with that.
Sure. If you guys have any other questions, please make sure to share it in the chat in English or Sinhala. And we have a few more minutes remaining. Roshan, we have another question by Mr. Pasan Sirivardhana. Do you use your cameras with gimbals? And I think there was a similar one also by Mr. Sisira Kumar Jayasekara. What are the stabilizers you use with run and gun type of jobs?
Okay, so what I will say is like most of the times I used to do the bigger Ronin, and but earlier before that I used 1 or 2 times the Steadicam, but it's not very easy to work with. What I do with now is I have a automated system in my live productions. Most of the times what I will show you is like this automated system is the number one which I'm using.
Right.
So it can control most of the times remotely.
Right.
So this is what we have used in Colombo Fashion Week. So this is we can't deploy a cameraman there.
Right.
So at that time we have put this camera in the robo.
Oh,
so you can program the robo, and like robo will do his cameraman's job from there itself.
Right. I think what is the best video resolution you have shooted by Mr. Punsit Techaga Attanayaka. So I think that's the resolutions that you work with, and your workflow may be some kind of
4K,
you mainly work with 4K or
4K and 5.9K, but like more the resolution is
it's always better.
It's a luxury.
It's a luxury.
But
indeed.
Depends on the production.
Right. What do you mean by that, Roshan?
So if your production is a smaller production with a low budget, and for the moment, let's say if you're doing it for the moment,
right,
and if it's not a seasonal program, let's say if you get the Netflix program,
right.
So what we did in the Netflix program, they wanted the archives, all the shots of the animals,
right,
in 5.9K,
okay,
right, and the other stuff in 4K,
right.
So because they can keep it in archives. Let's say if you're doing a biography or something, so it will be an important person, so better shoot it in whatever the highest resolution that you can, and depends on your budget and the camera's abilities as well.
Right.
So because like if you're doing a biography, the more time it takes, it will be valuable.
Exactly.
Higher the resolution will be a luxury.
Yes. So it's our last and final few minutes. While we get more questions, if there are any, we'd like to announce some of the winners. So during the session, we had certain questions, and we picked 3 lucky winners. Not 1, not 2, but 3 lucky winners who will be walking away with 64 GB SD cards, Extreme Pro SD cards that will be suitable for your videography work. And we are happy to announce that we have 3 lucky winners who will be walking away with those memory cards. They are none other than Mr. Mahesh Bandara, Mr. Peter D. Cruz, and I think the name is W.O. Souls Till Eternity. I think that's the Gmail name. So 3 lucky winners. I'll repeat them once again. Mahesh Bandara, Mr. Mahesh Bandara, Mr. Peter D. Cruz, and W.O. Souls Till Eternity. 3 lucky winners. Please make sure to drop a text message to 071872200 with your name, your mobile number, your NIC number, your home address, and your email address, and we will be in touch with you to share your gift. So 3 lucky winners of all of you all who took part today. Congratulations, Mr. Mahesh Bandara, Mr. Peter D. Cruz, and W.O. Souls Till Eternity. Roshan, there's another question. I think Mr. Roshan Fernando has asked, what are the available Netflix projects done by you to watch now? So I think maybe the first part was
this one 72 most dangerous animals Asia, episode 8. What common crates?
Yeah. And Mr. Buddhika Jayatilaka is asking, what is the best recommended Canon cinema camera for someone who is starting with cinematography?
Okay. So, as I told you, this is I have personally fallen in love with the Canon C70. I think this is the best for you because it's with its size and the affordability, everything. This is the best.
The Canon C70 is Roshan's recommendation.
As well as this is an investment.
It is certainly an investment.
Because you can use existing EF lenses and RF lenses time to come.
Time to come, exactly. So you will get the best of both worlds. If any of you all are interested in the Canon Cinema EOS system, drop a text message to 0712 390 390. 0712 390 390, and one of our colleagues will be in touch with you to talk to you and try to help you find the most suitable Canon Cinema EOS camera for your requirement. Roshan, I think we are just 2 minutes to our end, so I think it's time to announce the lucky winners.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, 3 lucky winners of the people who registered for today's event will walk away with a once in a lifetime opportunity to get a hands-on one-on-one session, a 3-hour session with none other than Mr. Roshan Fernando. Basically, we have selected 3 lucky winners, and I'm happy to announce them right now. They are none other than Mr. Chamal Ashen, Miss Ashini Kalubovila, and Miss Nisangi Ranamadala. Congratulations, Mr. Chamal Ashen, Miss Ashini Kalubovila, and Miss Nisangi Ranamadala. You get an opportunity to get a hands-on session with the Canon Cinema EOS system with Roshan Fernando, a 3-hour session at one of his future events or one of his future engagements. So please make sure to drop your name, your NIC number, your mobile number, your home address and your email address to 07187 22200. I'll repeat the number, 07187 22200, to the lucky winners of Roshan's hands-on session, as well as the 3 lucky winners who walked away with the 64 GB Extreme Pro memory card. So Roshan, I think we are 1 minute away from the time to conclude. It's been an absolute pleasure and a privilege to have all of you all. We'd like to request you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and the Metropolitan Photohub social media channels, as well as Roshan Fernando's social media, to stay tuned, and we from Metropolitan Photohub will be arranging similar events and workshops in the future. So if you do subscribe and if you like and follow, you will be notified of such future events. So please make sure to hit the subscribe button, follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, and please do follow Roshan Fernando on his Facebook and Instagram as well. So Roshan, thank you very much indeed for taking the time out, and it's been a lot of energy and effort indeed to make sure this production came into this to this level, and we have a continuous massive audience, all of you all who have been with us live throughout. So thank you very much to each and every one of you for joining in. Thank you, Roshan, once again. Thank you, and thank you to all of you. We shall hope to see you again at a future event. Thank you very much, and good night.